If you find yourself around somebody who has done something or accomplished something, you feel more like, yo, I can do this because I see it being done. It seems more realistic when you can reach out and touch somebody or reach out and have a conversation with somebody.
Let's go. Let's grow.
What's going on? Carlos V. Spencer here with another week of video, another week of audio. If you're tuning in on the podcast, listening into us, thank you so much for tuning into this channel. If you're watching us here on a social media platform, we appreciate you watching. Go to the other videos, continue to catch up on some other information that we've had on weeks past. Why are we here? I'm gonna keep sounding like a broken record. We're here to make you better. We want you to become better. So everything that you put your hands to, that thing actually becomes better. I want to talk about proximity. I want to talk about the relation of things that are around you. I want to talk about the circles that you put yourself in. I want to talk about where you at in your life. You ever hear the saying, if you're the richest person in your circle, you need a new circle? Or if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle? That saying comes up because in order for you to become better, you need to be around people who are constantly becoming better or challenging themselves to become better, or people who may be operating on a better level than you. If you've ever watched track and you've heard of a PR, like somebody who's ran or performed at their highest level, their fastest race, most people will PR when they've ran in a race with other people who are running faster than them. So you ever seen somebody in a race and they come in second place or third place and they're crying with tears of joy, right? They're overjoyed and they're falling on the ground and their coach is running out and they're grabbing them and they're shaking them and they're celebrating together. And I'm like, you didn't even win the race. Like, what are we doing here? But the person ran their fastest race that they ever ran because they were in company, in proximity of other people who were running fast or running faster than them, which caused them to move faster themselves. When you get around other people, it will increase who you are. Here's a saying. This is true. You can actually look it up for yourself. Your income is the average of the 5 people that you hang around most. I'm gonna say that again. Your income is the average of the 5 people that you hang around most. And it may not be the exact same, but it's going to be somewhere around there. And what that means is the people that you surround yourself with, you end up being similar to those people. My grandmother would say, if you lay down with dogs, you're going to get up with fleas, right? Right? If you around people who 9 people are broke, guess who's going to be number 10? That's not guesswork. I often go into speaking to high schools and speaking to students and even talking to my children. And I don't need to see your grades to know what your grades are. I can look at the grades of the 5 people that you hang around most. Now, again, your grades may not be exactly the same as the people who are around you, but for the most part, they're going to be somewhere around the people who are around you. So I'm not also saying too, pay attention. I'm not saying you got to leave the other circle. I'm not saying you have to say richest person in your circle, need a new circle. Smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle. I'm not saying you got to leave the other circle. I'm not saying you got to totally abandon them, right? What I'm saying is you need to find another circle that's pouring into you. Watch this. You may be the person in that circle that's pouring into somebody else. But if you keep pouring into somebody else, you're going to end up being empty. I grew up in a neighborhood that was in what they would call the projects, the hood, right? And if you're ever in the hood, you drink Kool-Aid. I don't know what your favorite flavor is. Some people say red, some people say grape. And that's not even a flavor, that's a color. But whatever your favorite flavor is, you make the Kool-Aid and you drink it. And I grew up and I had a bunch of brothers. And so you never want to be the person who had to make the next batch. So since you ain't want to make no more, you leave a little bit in the container and stick it back in the refrigerator. But that little bit in the refrigerator, if you go and grab it and pour it into your cup, it's like nothing in there. It's like soot in there. It's stuff that's settled down there. It's a bunch of sugar down there. You end up pouring something out that you don't even want to drink. What I'm saying is, at the end of that container, you're pouring stuff out that isn't even good for anybody else, or you're pouring stuff out that's no longer there. If you keep pouring out to somebody else without somebody pouring into you, sooner or later, you're not going to be good for yourself or that person you're trying to help. You have to get around people, the proximity of people who are pouring into you. When you get around other people who are excelling on a higher level, who are moving at a higher rate, who are going to places that you want to go to, it challenges you to go into another level. But not only challenges you, you feel like it's doable. If you find yourself around somebody who has done something or accomplished something, you feel more like, yo, I can do this because I see it being done. It seems more realistic when you can reach out and touch somebody or reach out and have a conversation with somebody. I was watching Shannon Sharp. I was watching Club Shay Shay, and he's interviewing Cam Newton. I don't know if you're familiar with Cam Newton. He used to play in the NFL. I think he's even trying to get back. And during the interview, it was a very good interview. To me, I enjoyed it. There's one part in particular that he brought out that stuck out to me that I don't know if a lot of people caught. I really don't believe a lot of people caught. Go ahead and take a listen into this clip right here.
I want to commit to Auburn out of junior college. It was neck and neck. Mississippi State and Auburn. Mm-hmm. When I went to Auburn, as my mental was solely focused on success. I was really trying to play catch up to the Joe Haydens, the Marquise Pounceys, the Aaron Hernandez, who were already in the league. And I said to myself, we came in together in Florida, they already in the league. I'm trying to find the fastest way that I can get to the league.
If you caught what he said, is he was talking about, if you don't know the story, he played at the University of Florida football, and then he left to go play at another university, and then he came back to play at Auburn, if you've ever followed him as an athlete. So he was talking about some people that he was playing with, some players that he played with at the University of Florida. And when he left to go play at another university, he came back to Auburn. And in the interview, if you listened in, he just mentioned and rattled off a couple names of a couple players that he played with at the University of Florida. The few players that he named when he came back to the University of Auburn, when he came there, these players that he named that he played with earlier, they were now in the NFL. So if you catch what he said, yo, this person and this person and this person, they're in the NFL now. So I'm just looking for my fastest path to be able to get into NFL. Look, to him, it was doable. To him, it was like second nature. To Cam Newton, it was like breathing. It was like, hey, this person did it, this person did it, this person did it. I know I can do it too. Because he was in the proximity, he was in the company, he was around other people, he got to see them firsthand, he knew these people. And so since they made to the NFL, now mind you, if you look into the NFL, you study any of the stats, it's not an easy thing to do. And if you break it down to the numbers, it's almost impossible. The number of high school students to college students that actually reach the pro level. It's not an easy thing to do because a lot of people do not make it. But to him, it was like breathing. To him, it was like, oh, he made it, and he made it. I can make it too because he was in the company. He saw somebody firsthand that he got a chance to spend some time with who made it to another level. So when he saw somebody firsthand who made it to this other level, it was second nature. It was like breathing. It was like drinking water. It was like, yeah, today's a new day. I know I'm going to make it happen. I know this is going to happen to me. And it eventually happened for him because of his skill, his ability, and his work. But one of the reasons why it happened was because of the people he surrounded himself with or the people that he was around. When you get yourself around other people who are accomplishing other things, it'll make it more feasible. You'll be able to see it and make it. You'll feel like this can actually be done because I'm seeing it be done. Some of our issue, and I feel you, some of the reason why we feel like we can't accomplish certain things is because we've never seen it done. We've never seen anybody in our family do it. We've never seen anybody in our neighborhood do it. And sometimes we got to be the first person to push out. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I am saying if you find somebody who is doing what you're looking to do, or you find somebody who's successful and you can get close to them, then being close to them will help equip you and help give you things that you didn't even know that you needed to be able to get to that next level. And I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, how? How do I do this? How do I get close to somebody? How do I get in the realm? How do I get in the air? If I need a new circle, if I'm the richest person in my circle and I need a new circle, if I'm the smartest person in my circle, I need a new circle. How do I get to this new circle? And that's a great question. Here is an answer. I'm not saying it's the answer, but I found this answer to be beneficial. When you change yourself, the people who are attracted to this new self will start to find their way into your circle. It sounds simple. And what do I mean? Let's get very practical. Reading books, watching information, listening to information to better yourself. It comes back to the reason why I am doing this channel, to get this out to help people. Because when you better yourself by reading books, by going to conferences, I believe in the next 5 years, you're going to be in the place that you're in because of the books that you read and the conferences that you attend. When you read books, when you get information, when you gather information, you start to change yourself and equip yourself because you give yourself something that you did not have before. So now you're becoming somebody that you were never before. So when you start to become, please grab this. When you start to become somebody that you were never before, you start to attract people who were never around you before because you're now moving like those people. Sometimes we can't figure it out. How do I get into this new circle? Read books, watch information, gain insight to put into yourself. And when you gain insight to put into yourself, you'll become better. I'll end it with this scripture passage. Wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Wisdom, the scripture says, is the principal thing. It is the thing to get and to get understanding. So when we get wisdom, we learn information, and then we start to learn and train and study to understand this information. This information is the thing, the wisdom, the understanding, and the information is the thing that causes you to level up. That is how you get yourself into a space that you were never in before. Sometimes we force ourselves into a space and try to get into a circle. You won't stay into that circle because you're not the person to be in that circle. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. If somebody was to give you $1 million, it's best that you become a millionaire so you'll keep the $1 million. I'm Carlos V. Spencer. Thank you for tuning in another week. Find yourself some people to get around. And the best way to find yourself to get around different people is to change yourself by watching and listening to information like this, by reading and gathering books and information. Wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get an understanding. I'm Carlos V. Spencer. Thank you for joining us for another week. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's get it.
Let's go.